Good morning. Can I see your passport and I-20 form?
Good morning. Thank you. Here are my documents.
Thank you. So, you're applying for a master's in business analytics. Why did you choose this field, given your background in agriculture science?
I chose business analytics because it offers the skills and knowledge I need to make data-driven decisions in any industry, including agriculture. During my undergraduate studies, I realized the immense potential of data analytics in improving agricultural practices and efficiency. By studying business analytics, I aim to bridge the gap between agriculture and modern data analysis techniques, which I believe will be highly beneficial for my father's logistics company that deals with agricultural products.
Why did you choose Webster University for your studies?
I chose Webster University because of its strong business analytics program, experienced faculty, and emphasis on practical, real-world applications. Additionally, Webster offers excellent resources and support for international students. The $16,000 scholarship I received also reflects the university's recognition of my potential and commitment to my education.
What can you tell me about your academic background?
I completed my bachelor's in agriculture science with a GPA of 3.68, which is equivalent to 92%. I have a strong foundation in analytical thinking and problem solving, which I believe will be beneficial in my business analytics studies. Additionally, I scored 62 on the private, with no section below 54, demonstrating my proficiency in English.
Can you explain the gap between your undergraduate studies and now?
After completing my bachelor's, I took some time to gain practical experience in the agricultural sector. I worked on several projects related to data collection and analysis, which further sparked my interest in business analytics. This hands-on experience has prepared me well for advanced studies in this field.
How do you plan to fund your education in the United States?
I have been granted a $16,000 scholarship from Webster University, which covers a significant portion of my tuition fees. My family will provide the remaining funds, and we have sufficient financial resources to cover my living expenses as well.
What are your plans after completing your degree?
After completing my degree, I plan to return to my home country and work at my father's logistics company. My goal is to implement advanced data analytics techniques to optimize our operations, improve efficiency, and ultimately expand the business. My education at Webster University will equip me with the necessary skills to achieve these goals.
Your sister is currently studying in the US. How does that impact your decision to study there?
Having my sister in the US provides me with a support system, which will help me adapt more easily to the new environment. However, my decision to study in the US is primarily driven by the quality of education and opportunities available at Webster University.
Why should I believe you will return to your home country after your studies?
I have strong family ties and professional commitments in my home country. My career goal is to contribute to my father's logistics company, which is a crucial part of our family's livelihood. Additionally, the skills and knowledge I gain from my degree will be directly applicable to our business, making my return not only beneficial but necessary.
Okay, your visa is approved. We will mail the passport to your address of record.
Thank you, officer.
Why do you wish to study in the USA?
This is one of the most common F1 visa interview questions and answers the interviewer will ask you when they are meeting you for the first time. Note that this interviewer already knows that you are going to the US for studies, but they ask this question because they want to deduce if your intentions of studying in the US are genuine enough, or if you just picked the country because you wanted to travel out. This is your chance to prove that a study in the US is important to your growth, education, and career-wise, that this country is the only country that can offer you these things. I want to study in the US because it is one of the most popular study destinations for higher education amongst foreign students, and it has some of the best universities in the world. Universities in America support their international students. They have a flexible education system, are culturally diverse, have high-ranking programs, and give students the opportunity to study and work as well.
Why did you choose the course you are applying for?
Questions about the course is a question to expect in F1 visa interview questions and answers. Here, the interviewer wants to know what inspired you to select the discipline you chose to major in, and most importantly, if it is aligned to your career goals. I am passionate about studying engineering, and I would love to expand my knowledge of it. In my country, we do not have many experts in this field, but I believe that what I learned during my studies would help me improve the existing systems in my country and equip me to stand out as well. This will help me establish a career once I come home.
How many universities did you apply to before you got accepted and why?
When you are asked this common F1 visa interview questions and answers, no need for you to panic. Remember, you are currently at the embassy because a school in the US looked at your profile and deemed you fit enough to invite you to study with them. So, when the interviewer asks this, they simply want you to walk them through your journey to studying in the US so that they can know how committed you are. Whatever knowledge you gathered when you were researching schools, this is the time to use it. Before I got accepted to study at MIT, I also applied to Harvard University and New York University. I chose these schools because during my research, they proved to be the best universities in the world that offer an undergraduate program on robotics engineering.
Did you get accepted by all the universities?
It has never been a crime for a visa applicant to get an offer letter from multiple universities, so if you are asked this question, it is still because the interviewer wants to understand your journey to deciding to study abroad, and why you finally chose your ideal school. The F1 visa question's best answer to give is for you to answer accordingly, don't lie. No, I did not get accepted to all the universities.
Which schools rejected you and why?
Even your interviewer understands that rejections are bound to happen, so if you get asked this F1 visa interview questions and answers, be honest and be willing to share which schools rejected you, and also highlight which ones accepted your application. Of all the schools I applied for, I was rejected by Duke University and University of California. My rejection was due to the fact that they didn't find me a good fit for their program.
What are the names of the universities you got accepted to?
These common F1 interview questions and answers are in response to the questions about rejections and schools that accepted you as well. Do not overthink it. I got accepted into MIT University, Harvard University, and Stanford University.
What is the name of the college or university you want to study in and why did you choose it?
This question is one of the common F1 visa questions and answers you are most likely to be faced with. When it is asked, please keep in mind that the interviewer is asking this question because they want to know why you chose to study in a particular university in the US, instead of in another country. This is not the time to praise the US for being a powerful nation with a good economy, so that the interviewer won't think you want to live there after your studies. I chose to study at MIT because it has some of the best faculty members in my field of study whom I greatly admire.
Why don't you want to study in your home country?
What is it the US has that your home country doesn't? You already studied in your home country throughout your undergraduate years. Why do you want to study abroad now? Your country is reputed as a reasonable place to study by the rest of the world, so why are you traveling out now? These are the things an interviewer means with this F1 questions and answers visa interview process. My country is reputed globally for having a reasonable educational system, yet it cannot be compared with that of the USA. The US is home to the majority of the high-ranking universities in the world, and obtaining a degree from one of those world-class institutions is a feat I hope to achieve one day. Additionally, the field of study I wish to major in is not taught in my country.
Did you get any scholarships?
No interviewer will deny you a visa because you did not get a scholarship. The main reason for asking these basic study visa interview questions and answers is to know what means you intend to use in funding your studies abroad. No, I did not get a scholarship.
Who is sponsoring your education?
Sponsorship questions is one of the sample F1 visa interview questions and answers to look out for. Besides the loan and scholarship organizers, who else is sponsoring your education to the US? Is it your parents, a relative, community, or your workplace? My parents will be the ones sponsoring my education and funding my cost of living in the US for the duration of my studies.
What do your parents do?
This question is common and can be found in most F1 interview questions and answers PDF created for visa applicants. It usually comes after you have revealed to the interviewer that your parents or parents would be the ones sponsoring your education. When it is asked, do well to portray your sponsor as being financially capable of funding your studies abroad. And please be honest. My mother is an accountant, and my father is an architect.
How much do your parents earn?
There is no reason for you to lie about how much your parents earn in a visa interview, so when faced with this common U.S. Embassy interview questions and answers for F1 visa, tell the interviewer the exact amount your family earns. My parents earn up to $10,000 annually.
Do you have relatives in the US?
The subject of having sponsors is among the vital immigrant visa interview questions for minors, especially for the ones who are traveling to the U.S. alone. When they ask this, they want to know if you have any immediate relatives or relatives living in the U.S. you could stay with. A hint for you, the visa officials already know the answer to this question, so don't lie. No, I do not have any immediate family in the U.S.
Have you visited the US before?
You visit the U.S. or not is one of the most straightforward visa interview questions. The interviewer just wants to know if you have gone to the U.S. before and in what capacity. Was it for studies, vacation, conference, training, or medical reasons, to make it known. If you have not gone before, also make it known. No, this would be my first time visiting the U.S.
How long do you intend on staying in the United States?
Duration is one of the frequently asked visa interview questions and answers. When an interviewer asks how long you would be staying in the U.S., what they really want to know is how long your course of study is. In fact, the only response you should give is the duration of your course. Do not include the years you wish to stay back in the USA after you graduate. I intend to stay in the U.S. for 4 years, which is the allotted duration for my course.
What did you score on your tests?
English language proficiency tests, other necessary tests like GRE, are a vital part of your F1 visa interview experience. When asked for your scores, simply reveal the scores you got for each of the tests you took. I took the test of English as a foreign language test and I scored 95.
Can we see your high school transcripts?
If you didn't already know, transcripts are your official certified records throughout the course of your study, which contain information like your full enrollment history, courses you studied, grades earned for each course, and degrees and awards conferred to you. That is what the visa official expects to see with these student visa questions and answers. Remember to go to the embassy with your high school transcripts and other documents while attending the interview, so that whatever you are asked for, you can submit. Yes, sir. I have my high school transcripts here, you can see it.
From your bank statement, we can see that several large amounts were recently deposited. Can you explain where all this money came from?
Questions about funds are common with the visa interview experience, so if you are asked this, unless you are engaged in fraudulent activities or stole the money you are now posing in front of the official, then there is no need for you to panic. If the money was a recent transfer from all your life savings to one account, or as a result of a contribution from your friends and family towards your education, please say so. Before this interview, I made a recent transfer of all my funds from my other savings accounts to the bank which owns the bank statement you are seeing now. That is why the recent transfer amounts are high.
What is the tuition of the university you wish to study in?
This question can be a part of your F1 visa interview experience, because the visa official wants to understand if the money reflected in the bank statement you provided would be enough to fund the tuition fee of the school you wish to attend. The tuition of the school I want to attend is $50,000 a year for an undergraduate course.
What about your living expenses and accommodation fee?
F1 visa interview questions and answers about your living expenses and accommodation fee are a mere standard procedure to ensure that you will still have enough funds to cater for yourself for the duration of your stay in the US, even after paying the tuition fee. They also ask it because they want to know how much you have allocated towards this cause and if it will be enough. The living expenses and accommodation fee I have allotted for the duration of my stay in the US are stated in the bank statement. They are the same amount which is advised for a student to have to live comfortably in the country. Also, anything else I need, my parents who are sponsoring my education will provide for me.
What will you do after graduating?
F1 visa questions and answers about what visa applicants want to do after they graduate are necessary as they give the officials a good idea of what your plans are to put whatever you have learned from your school in the US to good use. If you will get a job after graduation, say so. If you will start your own company, say so as well. Are you returning to your country? Say so too. After graduation, I will be returning to my home country to become an engineer, using what I have learned in school.
Do you plan to work while studying in the US?
This is one of the most common topics discussed in F1 visa interview questions and answers PDF, and the good thing is that it can be answered to your liking. The thing is, as a student holding an F1 student visa, you can work part-time on campus for a maximum of 20 hours per week during an academic term when school is in session, and then on your academic breaks you can work full-time until school resumes again. During my studies I would prefer to focus on school, but work on campus if I get the opportunity to do so.
Considering the current state of the US economy, why do you want to go there?
F1 visa interview questions and answers could carry inquiries about the current state of the US economy. When officials ask this question, they want to know how you would cater for yourself in a shaky economy and whether it would affect your studies and living in the US. The US job market does not have a direct effect on me as a student. I am only going there to further my studies.
Most applicants eventually turn to potential immigrants. What about you? Will you be returning to your country after your course?
F1 visa interview questions and answers about student applicants turning into full-time immigrants are not uncommon, so if you are faced with this particular question, answer in a way that guarantees the interviewer that you have no intentions of overstaying your welcome in the United States after your visa expires. Remember, it is better to leave the US on good terms with the officials so that you can always return, than to be deported. Yes, I wish to return to my home country after my studies in the US. There is a large shortage of skilled professionals who major in the course I am now going to study in my country. With my qualifications, I could make a huge difference in my community.
If you run out of funding, what will you do?
It is because the cost of living in the US is quite high, so it is possible that you might need a bigger budget to pay for your studies and living expenses as well. How you will manage these costs is what they want to know. Before I applied for studies, I was concerned about the cost of living in the US, so I made sure that I have enough funding to cater for the duration of my stay here.
Are you currently in a relationship?
We know that your relationship status is the least you expect to be asked in a visa interview, and of course nobody will ask you this as a minor. But the reason why this question shows up in visa interview questions for F1 with answers PDF is because the interviewers want to deduce if you are in a serious enough relationship leading to marriage, which could make you come back to your country. So answer truthfully as it applies to you. No, I am not currently in a relationship. I am still single.
Which cities do you wish to travel to in the US?
Of course, exploration and learning about a new city is a huge part of studying abroad. However, inquiries about which cities in the US you wish to travel are among the F1 visa interview questions and answers that measure your investments in your schooling. They assure the officials that you will not fall in love with the country and refuse to leave. Please, even if you wish to tour the whole of America, do not mention that to them or make it look like that's the main reason you are going there. I haven't really thought about traveling around the US. My main focus will be on my studies and schoolwork, which will keep me occupied.
Why should we give you a student visa?
Expect that the question of why you should be granted a student visa will show up in F1 visa interview questions and answers. When you are asked, make a strong case of why you should be given a visa, without fear or panicking. Be confident, and even while answering, keep convincing the interviewer by giving them the impression that you do not have any plans of staying in the United States and you will return to your home country. An opportunity to study in the US won't just change my life, but it will transform my community as well. The knowledge I will gain at the university, I can apply that to developing my country and creating job opportunities for the unemployed.
What are your plans if your student visa is not approved?
Any visa officer that asks you this question is trying to understand you and to know if you are desperate. If you answer in a manner that is evasive or false, you will be suspected as not being genuine and they will think all the other answers you gave are lies. Note that there is no right answer to this, but you can provide a sincere and authentic answer. I really wish to study in the United States, but I will respect the decision of the embassy and then reapply. This time I will prepare the necessary documents and try to do better than I did today.